just in the athletic arena right now. 4 different kinds of elite players. You know, the Michael Jordans, not Michael Jordans, but like the current, like the Simone Biles, right, the tops of their game. And they're looking for the edge. They're looking also for the quantum physiology here. It's really in like, I have a little nagging injury, and it's not enough to be like taking me out, but it's annoying. And it's like, well, with these quantum technologies, you know, from straight up Kundalini Kriyas and just pranayama, you know, I can knock that out for an athlete in like boom, 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 right? Like within minutes, I can get them into a cellular shift where that nagging, gnawing little injury is no longer irritating. I can unhook them from that little pendulum. That's an edge. They're just looking for that edge, like what's the next level up, because it's short term, it's about performance, I'm at the top of my game, and what can I do? It's squeezing out that genetic potential, right? So it's like I'm at the top of my aerobic capacity, but have I hit my true mark of VO2 max? And like what, like that's ninja training. You're not going to get that in the weight room with the regular coach. And then same thing with the sports psychologist. It's like you're not going to get in this, like, we're in a post-Jungian, post-moral self-advancement experience, and we're working with somebody like Simone Biles. She has that same kind of intelligence and sensitivity that we do. So this kind of like sports psychology, tapping into the wounds and opening up the wounds and looking at the scars and complaining about when you know, somebody wasn't nice to you when you were 7, isn't what these athletes like should be spending any energy on, let alone their money or their time. So it's like the elite athlete that's at the top of their game needs like acute mentorship. And then the athlete who's up and coming is kind of in that same bracket of elite, of acute training, like acute mentorship, like what's going to give them the edge that will literally quantum jump them from perhaps being more of a mediocre performance tool to a total badass elite athlete, you know? And it's like, it comes down to like, it's likely going to be like some form of nervous system training, you know, getting them into a real mastery around parasympathetic dominance, you know, because there's probably some sort of fear that is jacking up their nervous system and keeping them kind of in this fight or flight cortisol situation that can be very depleting and affect performance. So again, it's like acute, right? And then the same thing with them for the mindset. It's not, they're not going to get this from looking at their wounds. They need to learn how to just have the lion's roar and just not avoid the fear, but ignore the fear by roaring back at it. It's a much deeper spiritual experience, but once they can practice some exercises around like more of an Aikido style relationship with their fears, where they just let the thing blow by and they come back to this shunya, which is a 0 point, and then they get to fill that with energy that will then be directed toward boosting their performance. Like that's the high game. And then we've got like the other 2 categories, which are more like more of the chronic training, not the acute training, more of the chronic mentorship, where it's like in the transitioning into retirement and feeling, you know, perhaps again fearful, threatened. So, but it's more of a chronic mentorship, like what's the long game, and how can we build up and really work on your metabolism and build up your strength and stamina to be able to, you know, kind of shift timeline and then hold a new vision and like hold it and have the patience to let it formulate on its own, right? And so, it's more of like it's like if I was to map out like an actual exercise program, it would be like focused on rest and restoration, and it would be like the adaptation experience. Like we're gonna create a new stimulus, and then we need to allow there to be adaptation. So we need some rest. The body needs rest. And then the last one is the happily retired athlete who, again, long game and is looking to shift timelines, shift tracks, shift vision, and creating a bigger impact or in a different way, and is already satisfied, but is like, what is the face of satisfied desire? There's always going to be a yearning in every human soul, because without yearning, we no longer cease to exist. So it's being able to then understand how to direct your energy in a way that gives you joy in the yearning and not in the getting. Like, I know that doesn't make sense. It does make sense. It makes a lot of sense, but in a bullet pointed document, perhaps it's just like, creating a really sophisticated, mature, spiritual, like a spiritually mature retired athlete who's sophisticated enough to be able, and when I say sophisticated, I mean like physiologically sophisticated enough in their mind-body system to be able to spread goodwill and maneuver resources in a very intuitive way and not based on something that they think they should be doing with their money, which feels very restrictive. And it's like allowing that retiree to open up cellularly to all of the infinite possibilities that are available for them to contribute to the Renaissance in ways they may have never thought of before, because they're stuck in the conventionality of their retirement, but know that there's the yearning there and they're not quite sure how to direct that yearning. What? Boom!